谢上天慈悲，师尊师母点传师 give me a chance to learn. 堂主人才 and our member, good evening. I am Cheong Hui from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. My topic today is the origin of life and its real meaning. Its real meaning. Life in the modern society is hectic and stressful. Every day we will go through our daily routine. It is a task that we have to undertake, whether we like it or not. And we will rush to work in the morning. At the end of the day, we will rush home, completely exhausted. But we still have to do our chores. Most of our leisure activities are only done in the short weekends. Then it is back to Monday again. We really are so caught up in the hustle and bustle of the life that we really hardly ask ourselves that what is life about? We accept whatever life offers. There is so little time to do our personal things. And before we realize it is time for us to say goodbye to this world. So after I received the thought. After I received the thought, there is this short briefing. They talk about the three treasures. After that, they draw the learn. See, this is the Chinese character for learn. That is man. It's right here. Human soul came from heaven, and it is permanent and everlasting. And this is the body was given to our parents. It is temporary and at certain times only. And then after that, I'm very curious. I learned, and I'm curious. I want to learn more about this Tao. So I comes to the temple, and often I read books, learn from the senior, and what they say. And after that, I was thinking, this world is full of suffering. So, what am I going to do? How to let this world have less suffering or relieve the suffering? Let's say we come to a story. A young man, a university student, was one day taking a walk with a professor who was commonly called the student's friend for his kindness to those who waited for his instruction. As they went along, they saw lying on the path a pair of old shoes belonging to a poor man working on a field nearby, who was nearly finished his day's work. The student turned to the professor and said, "Let's play a trick on the man. We will hide his shoe and conceal ourselves behind some bushes and wait and see his perplexity when he cannot find them." "My young man," answered the professor, "we should never amuse ourselves at the expense of the poor. But you are rich. You may give yourself a much greater pleasure. By means of the poor man, put a coin in each of the shoes and hide ourselves and watch how the discovery affect him. The student did so as both of them hid behind the bushes close by. The poor man soon finished his work and walked across the field to the part where he left his coat and shoe. While putting on his coat, he slipped his foot into one of his shoes. Feeling something hard, he stooped down to feel what was it and found a coin. Astonishment and wonder were seen upon his face. He looks at the coin, turned it round and round, and then he looks up. He sees nobody's around. Now he put the money into his pocket. Then he proceeded to put on his other shoe. But to his surprise, there is another coin in the other shoe. His feeling overcomes him. He fell upon his knee, looked up at the heaven, and uttered aloud a thanksgiving in which he spoke of his wife, sick and helpless, and his children without food, whom the tiny bounty from some unknown hand would save them from perishing. The student stood there, deeply affected, and his eyes filled with tears. Now, says the professor, are you much pleased? Then the play that you intended? Then the youth said, you have taught me a lesson which I will never forget. I felt now the truth of those words, which I never understood before. See, it is much less to give than to receive. See, in here, there is talk about a young man, a university student, and taking a walk with a professor. As a student, what we say, university student taking a walk and with a kind professor. Let's we shift to another scenario. See, university student at university. Student, you, me, I co-student, you. maybe a young student, right? Right? Taking a walk. Maybe this is a journey of life. Professor is our teacher, right? So you see, and there are this Fotan University. That is this some when you can say this is school, but somebody don't like the word school because he thought that school is for children. Right? Later I will talk about this child talk. Right? The student is we are the student. Right? Whether it is old student or a young student or a newcomer. Right? The university can become a kindergarten for primary school or for secondary school and college. Whatever you want to learn in our Fotan, the subject, every subject that it is there. Right? Taking a walk can represent the journey of our life. Journey of life. Alright? Right? And a kind professor means our teacher. Right? When we come to the Fotan, we want to learn. Right? We want to be better ourselves. Right? Then, so that we can have a better life. In terms of what? Right? In terms that we be kind to people. We learn in the Fotan the right and the wrong. Right? Now let's say this is what subject do you want to have? See, in our Fotan, we have a lot of people, right? They're psychologists, right? People who cure you in certain way. Right? They don't have to give you any medicine. They just talk to you. Let's say that in Fotan, there's a lot of doctor. Right? Then doctor, what it means by doctor? Doctor is to cure our disease or our problem, right? So our doctors here, they are free. Right? The medicine that you take will surely cure you, right? 100%. Right? This medicine, some take it on 1 day, and some take it 2 days. Some take it 2 times. And most of the people will take it 3 times a day. See, what is this medicine that will surely cure you? Okay? This is what we said. This is the medicine. This cure what? This cure your hunger. Once you take it, this is surely cure your hunger. Right? So, what type of subject that you want to learn, or what type of things that you want to learn in the Fotan is up to you to choose. There is no age limit for learning. Okay? And learning has no age limit. So the more you learn, the more you are aware of your ignorance. Right? So this one is the fruit. There are a lot of what we call cooks around. So if you want to learn to be a cook, we have a lot of people can share with you how to cook. Right? See how it comes to another story. The story of an old lady who has two sons who have their shop in the market. One of them is selling ice cream. Then the eldest is selling ice cream, and the youngest is selling umbrella. So one day the monk passed by her house, and she sees that the lady looks very sad and unhappy. So the monk asks, "Grandma, it seems like there's something bothering you. I might be able to help you if you would like to share your problem." She replied, "On the rainy day, I'm worried about my elder son because I think his ice cream business is slack. On the sunny day, I also worry. I think nobody will buy his umbrella, the younger son's umbrella. See, that is why I am always sad and unhappy." On hearing that, the monk smiled and said, "Why? All you have to do is change your attitude. On the sunny day, just think there is a lot of people buying ice cream from your elder son. On the rainy day, there is a lot of people buying umbrella from your younger son. So, how about it? Then you will be happy." At that instant, the old lady smiled. See, indeed, heaven and hell lies in our attitude. No wonder our holy teacher, Qigong, the living Buddha, says, heaven and hell are in our hearts and mind. Let's go about more than 2,200 years ago. A philosopher named Zhuangzi composed a poem. "I did not wish to be born, yet I was suddenly born. I did not wish to die, yet death suddenly arrived." See how unpredictable life is. We humans are so helpless that we cannot control our life and death, but it is the facts of life. Here is another story which I want to highlight. 3 old men who have been good friends since they were young and had not seen each other for a long time. So one day they met again and had a pleasant talk. They drank some wine and celebrated their reunion. Before their departure, one of the old men said, "Oh, how I wish next year, the same time, same place, we could meet again, just as happy as it is today." The other man smiled and says, "My dear friend, you are thinking too much. You expect too much. Now, after going home, taking off my shoe and falling asleep, I don't know if I could wake up tomorrow morning to put on the same shoe again." And the last man burst into laughter and said, "Oh, my dear friend, you both are thinking far too ahead." See, both are thinking too far ahead. Right at this moment, I don't know. After I let out my breath, can I breathe in again? These old men are making a point here. Life is uncontrollable and full of uncertainty. No one knows what will happen the next second or how long we can live. Despite all that, there is one thing we can surely control: the way to live our life. We can make the most of our life. We can choose to live a meaningful and valuable life. Our valuable life. So, what we say is that just the three old men says, we don't know how long we can live. So we have to live our life. What we are supposed to do after we receive the Tao. We go out, we propagate the Tao to our friend, to show them that that is life. Not like the one we go in the morning, we wake up, we go to work, and we come back in the evening. Every day we go in this way. The cycle go in that way. Then what is life? After receiving the Tao, we understand. We understand about we came from heaven. So after life, we should go back to the original place. But we must know how to go. Some people say, how are we going to go there? We must buy ticket. What ticket do we talking about? Okay. You see, in all the religion, we are talking about the goods, do good things, and relieve cave, birds, animal, and be good to others. So, what are we supposed to do there after we receive the Tao? How we are going to learn and progress? After learning the Tao, we must do good things, good conduct, and repent our sin. And on the other hand, we should benefit the world by propagating the Tao. If we do so, we shall progress in the Tao. And furthermore, there are some way of making progress. The method is to spread the Tao in order all the good people who have the opportunity to learn the Tao. We must publish good books concerning the Tao so that it can be circulated around the world. We should also try our best to help the poor and the handicapped in order to relieve their suffering. Furthermore, we should advise, we must advise the adults to love their children and advise the children to fulfill their filial duty. We ought to spread the virtue of truthfulness, sincerity, and honesty as well. But the last but not least, we should advise others to get rid of their bad habit. What we have bear in mind is that we should not boast what we have done, or should we lose our temper, even if other people do not listen to our advice. Indeed, these are the methods of making progress in the Tao. Our teachers says that after we receive the Tao, what should we do? All of us must realize what is the difference that we receive Tao and before we receive. What is the reason? What is the meaning of this is What's the difference between we received the Tao and we has not received the Tao? Before we receive Tao, it is said truth to say that fate determination will conquer a person. But after receiving Tao, it can be said that a person's determination will conquer fate. That is because before we cultivate ourselves according to Tao, we always flow along with and be influenced by the shifting of the phenomenal world. Therefore, one conduct is always within the sphere of good and evil and within the cycle of karma. This is called fate determination will conquer mankind. And mankind must thus live according to the arrangement of fate. However, after one receives Tao, one has the ability to recognize what is right and what is wrong, to distinguish the difference between good and evil, to recognize one error and transgression, and then never commit them again, to know what is good for mankind and to practice it bravely, to avoid disaster and bear to blessing, and also to expel bad habit and reveal one good nature. Thus, one must directly influence and change his environment, and he will also reach the highest level of cultivation. So the natural result of these changes will allow one to conquer fate. Everything that happens has the cause and result. So what are cause and result? That is another topic. Just now we were talking about the child talk. Okay. Excuse me. This was happening during Confucius time. It's about a child talk. One day, when Confucius was taking his pupil out for a ride in a cart, he encountered several children playing in the road. Among those children, only one wasn't playing. Confucius stopped his cart and asked, "Why aren't you playing?" The child replied, "When I play, it is not good because my clothes might get damaged, and so this will rent my parents' good name. So when I play, my effort wouldn't get me any rewards. So why should I play? Instead, I am just using some small pieces of slate to build a castle on the road." And then Confucius scolded him, saying, why don't you get out of my way, of my cart?" The child answered, "Ever since history began, I have only heard that a cart avoids a castle, not a castle avoids a cart." Then Confucius got out of his cart and said to the child, "You are so young and already so astute." Means he's very clever. Okay. The child answered, "When human beings have lived for 3 years, they already start becoming independent from their parents. When rabbits are 3 years old, they walk along the field. When fish are 3 days old, when rabbits are 3 days old, they walk along the field. When fish are 3 days old, they swim to the sea. It is natural. Why should you say, I am active? Then Confucius said, where do you live? And what is your name? The child answered, I live in a poor village, and my surname is Cheong Hui. I don't have a personal name yet, Confucius says. I wish to ride along with you. How about it? The child said. My home has a respectable father. He needs me to serve him. My home has a kind mother. She needs me to look after her. My home has an elder brother. I should obey him. My home has a younger brother. I should teach him. My home has a learned teacher. I should learn from him. How should I have the time to ride with you? Confucius says. My cards has 32 chessmen. Shall we gamble with them? The child answered, if the emperor gambles, people in the country couldn't bother about him. If an officer likes to gamble, it will affect the administration. If a learned person loves to gamble, all his knowledge will be useless. A person of average wealth, if he loves to gamble, will lose all his family's wealth. If a servant loves to gamble, he will receive punishment. If a farmer loves to gamble, the harvest will not be on time. Then why should I want to gamble with you? Then Confucius says, I want to talk to you about ruling the country. Ruling is a play of words here in Chinese, where it can be means ruling the country or leveling the whole country. How about it? The child answered, you can't level the country because it has big, high mountains, lakes and river, and has master and servant. If you level high mountains, all the birds and animals shall have no homes. If you fill up the lakes and river, all the fish will also have no homes. Without ruling officer, there will be a lot of gossip and mistakes in the country. If you get rid of the servant, everything will be in a mess. Confucius replied, do you know in this country which fire has no smoke, which water has no fish, which mountain has no earth, rock, which mountain has no rock, which tree has no branches, which man has no wife, which girl has no husband, which cow has no horn, which horse has no range, which male has no female? Which female has no male? Who is the gentleman? Who is the rascal? What is the meaning of less than enough? What is the meaning by more than enough? Which city has no market? Which person has no name? Before I go to the answer, there's one time we went to a hotel in India. A young town member come and ask me, say, do you know why I like to come to the hotel? Okay? Because I see all of you are very happy. Okay? I want to know why. Okay? That's why I come to the hotel. If I go to the hotel, I come to the hotel, and I see all of you are unhappy, that means you are sick. I am sick. That's why I come to the hotel. I want to know why. Why all of you are happy. One of the town members, senior town member, answered to him. That was many years ago. What I can't remember what the answer is. So it's just like today, the question asked by Confucius. Then you don't know the answer. And then you will be curious. You want to know. Confucius asked a question. Now the child answered. A grown worm. Maybe now you might say the firefly. The grown worm have no smoke. Well water has no fish. A mountain of earth has no rock. A dying tree has no branches. A saint has no wife. A virgin has no husband. An earth cow has no horn. Earth cow's 土牛 means a lump of earth, clay used to boost up the embankment. Then a wooden horse has no reins. A rope trying to lead the horse in the direction. A bachelor has no female. A spinster has no male. Winter days are less than enough. Summer days are more than enough. A palace has no market. A rascal has no name. So now you know the answer. Are you more happy? Then Confucius continued and asked, do you know how the world came to be? The meaning of yin, yang. What is left? What is right? What is external? What is internal? What is father? What is mother? What is husband? What is wife? Where does wind come from? Where does rain come from? Where do the clouds come from? Where does the fog come from? What is the distance between the sky and the earth? How many thousands of miles? Then the child answered. 9 times 9 equals to 81. This is how the world comes to be. 8 times 9 equals to 72. This is how the yin and yang starts and ends. The sky is father, the earth is mother, the sun is husband, the moon is wife. East is left, and west is right. Outside is external, inside is eternal. The wind is from the forest, rain from the pasture land. The clouds from the mountain, and the fogs from the earth. The distance between the sky and the earth is many. The distance between the sky and the earth is many thousand miles. East, west, south, north has their own setting. See, after we receive, you know the answer. How do you feel? Much better? Relieved? Happy? There is, after receiving Tao, receiving Tao provides an insight into life. After receiving Tao, we understand everyone has inherent Buddha nature or truth nature. All men are equal. So everyone can learn to be awakened to this golden path to heaven. By receiving Tao, we have a right direction to follow. We also acquire an insight into life and are not likely to be lost again. Learning about Tao helps us to face the uncertainty of life. By learning Tao step by step, we recover our inherent wisdom and virtue. We understand our life and therefore transcend the life and death cycle. With this understanding, we can see all illusion, face and deal with the uncertainty of life, cautiously and easily. Cultivating ourselves and practicing Tao help us to turn pain into joy. While cultivating, we are always nurturing a heart of joy and thankfulness. We understand all suffering results from ignorance. This ignorance makes us unable to realize the real meaning of life. Implicitly, many disasters can also be avoided. How? We learned just now about the old lady with the two sons. So every time she was very unhappy. After just a piece of the attitude, change of mind, the state of mind, she become happy. So does it mean that will it give you the joy? Yes, turn the pain into joy. Preaching and propagating Tao can gain us an infinity value of life. Thanks to God and our holy teacher, we are given this golden opportunity to receive Tao, learn Tao, and cultivate Tao. We realize that everything has exactly the same nature as the Buddha, and all achieve perfection. Where it's not for the mercy of God, how could we have this wonderful charge? So we should follow the same sages in their footsteps, preaching and propagating this heavenly gospel to the whole world. Sincerely hopes and acts upon so that all mankind may also have this opportunity, golden opportunity, to attain enlightenment. Not only can we gain an infinity value of life, we can also help others to do so. Let's join hands in contributing our effort by repaying the grace of God and virtue of our holy teacher. Come back to our bottom. He wants to learn more. Of course, a lot of people has their own life. Just like what I said just now. Every day, in the morning, we rush to work. In the evening, we rush back from home, right? And come back to the house exhausted. What do we do? Most of the time, we will sit on the couch watching TV. Then, at the end of the day, then it's time to sleep. The next morning, the cycle repeats itself. By coming to the bottom, what do we gain? Okay. We know our life, our origin. We came from heaven. We should go back to heaven. In what way? How are we going back to heaven? So, comes to the bottom. Learn from our master. Learn from our senior. We can have Tao books, right? And read Tao books, right? So that to improve ourselves. There are people, what I was saying just now. Every day we are adjusted. They got time to read, right? If you have the time management and you can have what I mean is one day everybody has 24 hours, right? So some people have more time, some people have no time. That is one is motivators. We give is a very simple what is an idea. I say it's an idea. He says in the morning you go to work. Before you finish and come back from work, say maybe 20 minutes before you pack your bag or a purse, whatever. Take down a piece of paper and then you write. Write what you are going to do tomorrow morning. From the important matter downwards to the where you can postpone. Then you put it in your drawer. Why you do it in the evening? Because tomorrow morning you come to work, straight away you can take out your piece of paper and then you know what are you going to do, and you will start work on it. Right? So you list it out. After you have finished the first job or the work, then you strike it off. This is your achievement. Then you're going down. You do that for the whole day or the whole month. Then after that it becomes a habit. Why you do it in the evening? Because in the morning it is your productive time. Your energy is full. That is the time you do your work. And you don't have to think straight away the work is in progress. So you do it every day for 30 days. After that, you become a habit. Now, when you have a lot of achievement instead of activities, okay, then you will have time. You will have spare time for yourself, okay, because you don't waste time. Okay. So now I will finish my job, my speech, and what I can say is, the more we learn, the more we aware of our ignorance. And learning has no age barrier. So wish you the best of luck and wish everybody is healthy, okay, because of this COVID-19. Okay, please stay healthy. Comes to the bottom often, okay, after the COVID-19 periods. Thank you very much.